All right, let's talk about a parasite. But this isn't just any parasite. This one is a silent operator, a foodborne stowaway that can hide inside you for decades. And here's the kicker. It's officially one of the most dangerous cancer-causing things we know of.
So when the World Health Organization slaps a Group 1 carcinogen label on something, you know it's serious. I mean, really serious. This isn't a maybe or a probably. It's the highest risk category there is. And yeah, you guessed it, the parasite we're talking about today, Clonorchis sinensis, also known as the Chinese liver fluke, is on that list.
And just to really drive this home, look at the company it keeps. Group 1 means it's in the exact same danger zone as asbestos, as tobacco smoke. So let's be super clear. We're not talking about a run-of-the-mill stomach bug here. This is a long-game threat with a terrifyingly high stake: cancer.
Okay, so let's properly introduce our villain. The official name is Clonorchis sinensis. It's a type of flatworm, a fluke to be exact, and honestly, the way this thing has evolved to live inside us, it's equal parts brilliant and, well, horrifying.
You know, when you picture a parasite, you might be thinking of a tiny single-celled amoeba or something. Nope, think bigger. Clonorchis sinensis is an endoparasite, which just means it lives inside you. But here's the mind-blowing part. It's a metazoan. That means it's a complex little animal. It has organs, systems. It's a fully functioning creature setting up shop right inside your liver's plummet.
And if you look at its family tree, its official classification, you'll see it's not some distant microbe. It's right there in the animal kingdom. A flatworm, a trematode. Knowing this, knowing its biological address, is absolutely critical for figuring out how to fight it.
So where do you find this thing? What's its territory? And how on earth does it manage to travel the globe? Well, the answers are all tied up in what we eat, where we come from, and just how connected our modern world has become.
Its main stomping grounds are parts of China, Taiwan, Korea, Vietnam, and far eastern Russia. And there's a very specific reason why. It's all about food. In these regions, dishes made with raw or undercooked freshwater fish are common, and that's the parasite's ticket in.
Okay, but that's over there. So how does it pop up in a place like, say, the Netherlands? I mean, the specific snails it needs don't live there. The whole environment is wrong for its life cycle. So what gives? How is it making the jump?
The Dutch have a great term for this: import infectie, an imported infection. Simple, right? It's not native to the area, it's a stowaway, arriving either inside a person or hidden in a food product.
It basically gets in through a few main routes. You've got people who move from those endemic areas, and they might be carrying the parasite without even knowing it because they have no symptoms. Then you have travelers, people visiting friends and family back home who eat a traditional meal and pick it up. And finally, there's always the chance it could hitch a ride in imported food, especially if the safety rules aren't followed to the letter.
All right, this is where it gets really clever. We're about to look at the parasite's infiltration playbook. Its whole existence hinges on this incredibly complex three-host life cycle. If it misses even one step, it's game over.
Okay, follow this journey. It's wild. It starts with microscopic eggs in the poop of an infected mammal, which end up in fresh water. Step 1, a specific type of snail has to eat an egg. No other snail will do. Inside that snail, one egg goes through this crazy multiplication process, creating thousands of tiny larvae. Step 2. These larvae burst out of the snail and swim around looking for their next ride, a freshwater fish. They burrow right into the fish's muscle and form a little protective cyst. Now for the final step. A human eats that raw or undercooked fish. The cyst dissolves, the fluke is released, it travels up into the liver's bile ducts, and that's where it settles in. It can live there for decades, laying thousands of eggs a day, starting the whole insane cycle all over again.
So it's in. It's set up camp in your liver. What happens now? What's the damage report from a decades-long invasion?
And this is what makes it so dangerous. If you only have a few of these flukes, you might feel nothing, absolutely nothing, for years. It becomes a sleeper agent, just hanging out, causing this slow, steady, chronic damage without you ever knowing it's there. But if you have a heavy infection, that's when your body really starts sounding the alarm. You might get pain in your abdomen, right over your liver, diarrhea, fever. Your blood work would show your immune system is in a full-on battle. But the real enemy here, the thing that connects all the dots to cancer, is the constant, grinding inflammation it causes in your bile duct.
Okay, so how do you catch a sleeper agent? How do doctors find this thing? Well, their counterintelligence toolkit has a few different tricks.
The old-school method is pretty straightforward. Look for the eggs under a microscope in a stool sample. The problem? If it's a light infection, finding those eggs can be like finding a needle in a haystack. So, they bring in more advanced gear. Things like serology, which looks for the antibodies your body creates to fight it, or PCR tests that can sniff out the parasite's actual DNA, even antigen tests that look for proteins from a current, active infection.
Let's double-click on that serology test for a sec. It's basically looking for your body's most wanted poster for the parasite, the antibodies. It's an awesome screening tool for figuring out if you've ever been exposed. The only catch is, those antibodies can stick around for a long time, even after the parasite is gone. So it tells you, yes, you've met, but it can't always tell you if the parasite is still at the party.
Okay, so we know how it works and how to find it. Now, how do we stop it? Let's get into prevention, treatment, and what's coming next on the research front. Honestly, prevention is pretty simple, and it all happens in the kitchen. Rule number 1, cook your freshwater fish. All the way through. That's the surest way to kill the parasite. Rule number 2, be really careful with raw, pickled, or even smoked freshwater fish dishes, especially from those endemic regions. And hey, if you're into freezing, that can work too. But you have to do it at the right temperature for the right amount of time to be sure. But what if you do get infected? The good news is there's a very effective fix. It's an antiparasitic drug called praziquantel. This is the global standard of care, whether you're in an endemic region or dealing with an imported case. It's really good at knocking out the adult flukes.
And the science on this is moving fast. I mean, really exciting stuff is happening. Researchers just figured out how the parasite triggers liver scarring. It's a specific kind of cell death called ferroptosis. That's a huge clue in the cancer puzzle. On the detection side, they can now find tiny fragments of the parasite's DNA just from a blood sample using advanced genetic sequencing. Game changer. And get this, scientists are even using machine learning, AI, to build models that can predict which communities are most at risk so public health folks can get ahead of it. How cool is that?
And that really makes you think, doesn't it? The story of this one parasite is really a story about our world today. Everything is connected. Food and people travel farther and faster than ever before. So you have to wonder, what else is out there? What other hidden dangers are quietly crossing borders, just waiting to be discovered? Just so you know, all the information we've gone over today was pulled together using a Gemini deep search. If you want to go down the rabbit hole and check out the primary sources yourself, we put a detailed list for you in the Notebook LM document. The link is in the description. And that's a wrap for today. If you found this useful or even just fascinating, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this one. And hey, drop a comment below. Let us know what you thought or if there's another topic you want us to tackle. Thanks for hanging out with us.